Hey guys, welcome back to Toops Time. You are watching our daily vlog series called The Daily Grind, and this is episode number 13. Y'all hang out and see what we have going on today. We ended yesterday's episode with me finishing up the commons area paddock for the sheep, and what that allowed me to do is actually remove that temporary netting, and now they have access to only 2 wires on all 4 sides of their paddock. Needless to say, I'm quite interested to see if all my sheep are still there this morning. I did watch them and Pippa follow me as I was heading to the gate, and whenever I left out of the gate, closed it back behind me, I told Pippa to stay because it looked like she was just wanting to follow me around like she always does when I'm out there, and she started to come through the electric fencing gate while I was closing it, and I was like, no, Pippa, stay back, Pippa, you know. And she minded it, and I pulled off and got all the way back to the house and turned around and looked at them, and she was still sitting there. And last I had checked, some dogs were barking off in the distance, and she barked back at them and rounded those sheep up and headed back to the area where her feed and the trees and stuff are that they sleep under every night. So she's doing her job. Pretty interested to see if they're all still there this morning. But before we do that, gotta milk Autumn. It's kind of funny to witness the cow clicks. I guess you'd call them, I don't know. So you have Autumn, who's usually always with Hazel, and usually always with Maple, no matter where they are. And Olive likes to hang around those 3, but those 3 don't really care if she is there. And Missy is usually always on her own. They'll all be together sometimes, you know, but you'll just notice that, like right now, Olive is out in the field way away from the rest of them by herself. And I know why she does that, because she's the one that gets the shaft when it comes to feed. She'll get around all the other cows whenever it's time to eat some feed, and they just push her away. That's not just the feed, that's around the hay ring and everything. Basically, when all the other cows leave the hay ring, then she's out there eating it by herself. That's typically how that works. Which is sad, because she's like the nicest cow here, but that's probably why she's in that predicament. Morning, ladies. Hey, pretty girl. How's your prison stay last night, Maple? Mostly wrapped up, other than picking these buckets up. Just waiting for Autumn to quit pigging out. Hey, girl. Standing here waiting on love. She said, by love you mean food? Yeah. I'm waiting on more food. You're so sweet. See what she does when I give Olive some love. Watch. Oh, Olive. Hello. Hey, Olive. Oh, wow. Sweet, sweet girl. Oh, imagine that. Hazel said, get out the way. That's my love. That's a good girl. Good girl. She loves it. A cow that just a month and a half ago wouldn't let me get near her. It's crazy. Hey, girl. You gonna let me touch you? Hey. Hey. Let me touch your back. Yeah, there you go. Jessie said she let her love all over her yesterday. She definitely likes Jessie a whole lot better than me. It's a good girl. Good girl. But I'll take what I can get from this little one. There comes Miss Piggy. Missy Piggy. You got alfalfa on your nose. Yeah. Tell you what, you sure do eat slow now. When I first started milking Autumn, I actually went to those 3/4 inch cubes for two reasons. For training purposes, to be able to actually try to get other cows that I had here to come to me so that I can physically hold a piece of food. But the main reason was because Autumn would eat so fast. She would eat so fast and then be getting anxious in the stanchion while I was trying to milk her. But now she seemed to slow down a lot. Doesn't act so piggy while she's in here, even with the pellet food. Missy, come here, Missy. Autumn didn't finish. Come get in here. Anybody want the rest of this alfalfa? Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Who wants the rest of this alfalfa? You want it? If Missy only knew what I was talking about, she'd be over here. Yeah, once she knows what you're talking about, she loves getting in the stanchion. Missy is such a big cow. You don't realize how much bigger she is than Autumn is until she stands in here. And by bigger, I mean like height-wise. And her back's like really straight. She holds fat a whole lot more than Autumn does. That could just be because Autumn's in milk right now. And this one's pregnant. Just finished straining the milk and I'm heading back to the house in the truck, and I'm topping the hill where I can actually see towards the sheep paddock. And my dog Ryder is at the house barking at me. He cracks me up. Sometimes I think he's going blind or something. He's barking at me like it has no idea who I am. But anyway, as soon as he starts raising Cain, I'm topping that hill and I look towards the sheep and I see Pippa coming over the hilltop of that draw and heading towards the gate line. I know she's loving that, being able to actually see a lot more. So she actually topped that hill coming towards Ryder's bark to defend her sheep. I think she's gonna be a good dog. Time will tell if she'll actually be contained by that fence. They said that they're trained that way. It's just whenever you've never seen a dog be able to be contained by, you know, sometimes even a 5-foot tall chain link. It just seems funny that she can be contained by a 20-inch tall wire. But it's psychological. It's not physical. I mean, it physically hurts if she touches that wire, but psychologically, if she's trained to say, hey, that wire will hurt me really bad, it does make sense. It's kind of neat, though, to see it in action. I'm headed over to the sheep paddock to get the water container. They were running low on water in that container. The tub's still slap full, but I want to go ahead and fill that container back up and bring it out there. And what I'd like to do is replace everything and resituate it all now that is considered a commons paddock for them, and put that water in the shade. That's what I'd like to do. And in doing that, I'd also like to build a little bit of a stand to put that watering container on, because if I do put it in the shade, the whole reason I put it where it's at in the first place is because it's on a hill and I needed the watering container to be higher than the tub so that it'll gravity feed. But if I'm going to be putting it all in the shade, I'm going to have to build some kind of a stand. Nothing special, but some kind of a stand to hold that thing up higher than the tub. So I'm gonna go down there and see if I get any ideas. So I threw this together real quick. This will end up being what I put my water tank on out there. If you remember, I said I was going to move the water tank to the shade, but I needed to elevate it off the ground in order for it to gravity feed properly. So let's see if it fits. Well, it fits just fine. What I decided to do is, instead of permanently mounting it to it so that I can take this off and have easier access to clean it, I just use these bungees. Haven't actually tried to pick it up yet with the bungees, but I think it'll hold just fine because the table itself isn't all that heavy. I think it's gonna work good. Looks like those bungees are gonna work perfect. That's good. It makes this a whole lot more versatile. Just got done watching the video that Jesse put together about Asher's birth story. Woo, that's good. If you haven't seen that yet, you need to head over to our channel and watch it. It's really, really good. I'm about to head over to the trailer that has all those pews that I got from that church last week. I'm gonna go ahead and unload those things since I have the forks already on the tractor anyway. Well, I got a little carried away. Before I take those benches off the trailer, I needed to mow the area that I'm going to put them down on. And once you start mowing and you see all the stuff that needs to be mowed, just keep on going. It's super dry, so now I gotta washing all this dust off of me. And I'm going to unload the pews just like I said. Just didn't do it immediately, that's all. But oh boy, is this place pretty when it's nice and manicured. There's my big mulch pile. A not so big mulch pile. It was like 6 times that size a few months ago. Just keep using it. Need to say some more prayers. I need some more of this stuff. Just haven't seen any tree cutting services around here lately. We are all done unloading those benches. Now I'm going to hop in the mule and head over to the sheep paddock. I need to weed kill those fence lines, those new ones that I put up, to keep grass from growing up on those electric wires. And also I just got a phone call from one of my friends that I let know a while back that I may be needing a calf sometime soon to try to put on Autumn to take Maple's place. Being Maple is starting to drink way too much milk, and she really is at an age that she's really needs to be weaned. So, but he just gave me a call back and let me know that he may be bringing me a calf. It's a purebred Angus, and it's not taken to its mom, so they're wanting to see if the mama's dry. If the mama's dry, we may try to work out some kind of deal with him for that calf. So that should be interesting. I want you to come check these fig trees out. These are year one fig trees. These are my first fig trees to own. And it is just mind-boggling to me how well they've grown. I think it's partially attributed to me actually pruning them. So many people I see just let them grow up in shoots and shoots and shoots, but the fig trees that I've seen that I like or actually like a single shoot or maybe a double once it gets a couple feet up. And I think they'll produce a whole lot better that way rather than having a bunch of vertical main beams. But anyway, yeah, these things actually have figs on them already, even being as small as they are. This one over here, this one was a little bitty tree. I pruned it and pruned it because it was so small. I figured pruning it would help it grow, and it did. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 6 figs on it. Again, this is my first fig trees to own. Not sure if this is typical growth, but this one here is about a little over 5 foot tall, and it started about 12 inches tall. This one is a little over 3 feet tall, and it started more like 8 or 9 inches tall. And I'm not sure if those figs are going to ripen in the fall. I'm not sure exactly when they ripen or if it's twice a year. Whenever I first got the trees, I had done some research on which ones I wanted, but it's been a while, so I'm just kind of waiting and seeing. But pretty excited to taste those figs from year one trees. All right, I'm about ready to wrap this day up, and I got to go put Maple up for the evening. And she is way over there with all of those other girls. See her? This is what Jesse had to deal with yesterday. It's the one bad thing about milk cows. When you rotate them, you always got to get them back to where you got to milk them the next day. Right there. Sometimes they come whenever I call. Sometimes they're like, nope, this grass is really good. We'll see which one of those it is here in a second. Come on, girls! Time to eat! Can't really see them from here because of the hill. Let's see if you can see them. Are they coming? I didn't think so. Let's go get them. Before we head out there, my wife had a good idea yesterday. She went to get them and she brought a bucket with her. A little bit of green in it. Well, not green, it's alfalfa, but had a little bit of their snack in it. And that's ultimately how she got them to come to her. So I'm gonna go ahead and take her lessons learned, bring the bucket with me right now. Look what I got. Come on. Come on, girls. Come on. Let's see if this works. Come on, girls. Come on. Little Miss Piggy. Little Missy Piggy. Come on, girls. Like a donkey and a carrot. But usually when I have to get them out of the field like that and they don't just come, I'll bring a bell out, their dinner bell that I ring a lot to call them in. I'll try that. If that doesn't work, I get behind them with the mule and I kind of rev the engine up, act like I'm going to run into them, hit the brake, you know, just kind of push them along. And they stubbornly make their way back here. But this, my wife knows her stuff. Imagine that, Missy's in first place. By a long shot. She's like, okay, looks like I have some time to eat out of Autumn's bucket. Oh boy. Come on, girls. Better eat while you can. The queen is here. She looks hungry. Just get out the way, girl. You bigger than me, but I'm the queen. Maple's getting better and better every night. She was actually sitting right here by the mule. Jessie actually said yesterday she completely walked in on her own while she was feeding the other cows. But for me, she's usually, for some reason, a little more skittish. She's a whole lot more warm around Jessie, and Jessie's rarely out here, which is strange. But she was sitting right here, staring at me while I was feeding the other girls. I went into her stall and started pouring her food. She looked a little interested and started walking that way a little bit. So I kind of took the long way out of the stall and circled around her and just kind of held my hands up, and she walked on in. And then I was testing her. Normally I'll shut the gate behind her and then I'll take her water and dump it over the side. It's really heavy doing that. Another alternative is I shut the gate behind her, bring the water back to the gate, open the gate, go in, close the gate, yada, 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 all to try to keep her from escaping. But this time she was in there eating. I left the gate wide open, walked in behind her to give her water. She kind of trotted out because she don't like me being that close, but she didn't run off. I skirted around the outsides of her whenever I was leaving her stall, and she walked right back in, and then I closed the gate behind her. So that's progress for her. She's getting a whole lot more comfortable with the routine already. Pigging out. Autumn's looking a whole lot better. Yeah, at the hottest part of the summer, Autumn was really suffering. You know, they got this big calf still on her, and the heat was absolutely draining her. You know, she didn't want to eat as much. walk back and forth from the pond is a lot harder, so she was more dehydrated than normal during the summer, and her body image showed it and reflected it. But I don't know if it's just because the weather's been cooling back down, or if I can attribute it to switching over to alfalfa rather than the different types of grain I was giving her. But whatever it is, she's putting weight back on, which is good. And she should put on even more weight here shortly, because we'll be AIing her soon. Say good night. Night, Maple. Night, girls. All right, that'll be it for today's video. If you like this video, please go ahead and smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Really helps us out a lot. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you guys.